The folks at DigitNow sent over this KeyDock photo and film scanner. It can scan photos up to 5x7. It can scan 35mm negatives, 35mm slides, and 110 negatives and slides, and that's rare. You don't see that often. I'm going to take some of my old photos, scan them, see how well this does. That's coming up on ThriftyAV. Quick disclaimer, the folks at DigitNow sent over this KeyDock photo and film scanner as a review sample. I consider review samples to be on loan, so if they want this back, they can have it back. I am not being paid for this review, and all opinions expressed in this video are my own. This is already out of the box. Let's back up and check out the unboxing. This is the DigitNow photo and film scanner. This is a standalone device. You don't need a computer to operate it. Getting into the box, here is instructions right here on top. Quick start guide. And I guess you can use it with a computer because here's some software. A card to see if I'm happy about it. I'm sure this has a purpose. Here is the user manual. Do a quick read here. All right. Getting this foam off. Here is the unit itself. Fairly sizable unit. Okay. Has little stickers on here to let you know that it hasn't been used yet. Oh, and here's some more stickers. Okay, peeled that off. Here's the switch between film and photo. Some more stuff in this box. Got a USB-C, A on one side, C on the other cable. We got some different sized film holders or slide holders here. Something for a 4x6, 3.5x5. It says name card, and a 5x7. So this thing will do different sizes. Trying to get into this. Just tear it. And this looks like, oh, the different size slides are negatives. That looks like it's for 35mm negatives. This looks like it's for slides. I'm gonna guess this is for 110. I wonder if I have any 110 negatives I could try out. Now the piece of plexi that's being used for the scan bed is not perfectly pristine. There's a little bit of cloudiness to it. It's probably not bad enough to cause problems with my scans, but glass would be better. On the right side of the unit, here is the USB port and the SD card slot. This thing does have internal memory, but it's not much. It's 128 megabytes. It'll take cards up to 128 gigabyte. And this USB port, you can use it to connect it to a computer, or it's also used for the power. Right now I just have it hooked up to power. Let's go ahead and power this up and see what happens. That's the on-off switch there. Okay, it says KeyDock, kind of like Kodak. Said no card. And you have USB upload gallery, set date and time. Let's start by setting the date and the time. Okay, I assume that wants a date and time, so it'll probably be part of the file name. The first type of scans I want to do today are photo scans. So if you're over here, you're scanning film and the menu changes. If you're over here, you're scanning photos. It warns you to take the film slide out I don't have any in it right now. So I'm going to open up the bed here. I do not have any 5x7s I want to scan today. But if I did, I would insert 5x7 into these holes, and that will center up a 5x7 on this flatbed. The first that I want to do are 4x6s. So I'm going to put the 4x6 into these holes here, and now when I put a 4x6 photo, which I believe that is a 4x6, that is a Mercury Comet, which is basically the same as a Ford Maverick. It belonged to my stepsister. Okay, and the photos from the fall of 1988. Put it right there. And now this 4x6 is centered up on that bed. You can actually see a little bit around that photo. I can actually go into the menu, and I went to crop here and hit enter, and then switch to 4x6 and hit enter, and it will crop that photo for me so that I don't have the edges around it, and now I can hit scan. Now it is auto white balancing. It's kind of guessing. Prints can get discolored over time, and it is trying to make sure that the color balance is as good as possible. And it looked like it might have added a little saturation compared to that photo. Let's go to a 3.5x5. And again, this little thing fits in 3 little holes here. Okay, and you know it's in the right spot when you hear it snap into place. I'm going to put this 3.5x5 in here now. And you can definitely see my hand behind that photo on the view screen here. I'm going to go ahead and close the lid. All right, now I'm going to go into the menu, and I'm going to crop it for a 3.5x5. And now this thing is cropped properly for this photo, and I'm going to go ahead and scan it. Now this is another 3.5x5. This is my very first vehicle. It's a Volkswagen Super Beetle. And it's black and white. So I can actually optimize. I can scan this as a color photo, but if I go to the menu, I can go to Effect and go to black and white, and now it will scan this as a black and white photo. And you'll notice I'm still in black and white on the viewfinder here, even though my hand should be in color. The only other size that I'm going to mess with now is name card. This is for like an ID or a business card. Here's an old photo ID. This is my old lunch ID. Had more hair back then. I am going to go back into the menu. This is in color. So I'm going to hit enter on effect and go back to multicolor. And now my scan's in color. Now I've lost my crop, or my crop's not the right size anyway. So I'm going to hit menu, go to crop, and pick the little photo ID. And now it is cropped properly for my photo ID. I'm going to go ahead and slide it a little bit that way. It's slightly better, and then hit scan. All right, now I want to scan some film. So let's switch over to film. And the menu actually changes for film. It changes from effect to film type here. And when I hit enter, I have 6 choices. Negative 110, slide 110, black and white 110, negative 35, slide 35, and black and white 35. Let's start with some 35 negatives. The negative is supposed to be inserted glossy side up, and you can actually kind of snap these into place here. And there's a little bit of residue on here. I want to point out that it is auto white balancing on this. If I pull it off to the side and center it back up, you'll notice that it's kind of adjusting the color and the contrast, and it's doing a pretty good job of making my old drum set from high school look pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and take a scan of that. Here is a 1983 Toyota pickup long bed again. I'll go ahead and scan that. All right, now I want to try some black and white photos. Now right now it's set for color slides. That didn't turn out good. So there might be a little false coloration on this. Maybe a little bit of pinkness to it. So I want to go ahead and go into the menu and hit enter and then switch to black and white. And now it is true black and white. So I'm going to go ahead and scan. That's my first vehicle. It was a 73 VW Super Beetle. And that's my sister's Siamese cat. I am not a slide photographer, but I do have some boxes of old AP slides from around 1980. So I put them inside this slide holder here. And I'm going to go ahead and put it in here. And I still have it set for 35mm negatives, black and white negatives. So I need to change that. So I'm going to go into the menu and hit enter for film type and go to slide. Now this is going to be for positive slides. And now you see the Major League Baseball logo. That's from 1980. The colors look pretty good for a slide that old, so I'm going to go ahead and scan it. This is backwards. I can tell this is backwards because Bjorn Borg is not left-handed. So what I can do is I can actually flip. Whoop, I flipped it the wrong way. This side flips it vertically. This side, this button here flips it horizontally. So I was able to flip the slide without actually pulling the slide out. And now it's positioned right. Bjorn Borg is now right-handed like he's supposed to be. Now I'm going to keep going this direction, which looks the other direction. And it is struggling with the color balance on this slide because this is an over-the-shoulder graphic. I'm going to flip it again. And it says high-speed chase. Basically, what's in color here, looks like purple, but it's probably supposed to be bluer, is going to be chroma keyed out, and basically all the color replaced with the camera image of a news anchor with this image over their shoulder. That's how they used to do it with slides way back in the day. And this is Arnold Palmer. You might have seen that the color was shifting as I went to it. That is that auto white balance, trying to get the best possible color balance off of this old slide of Arnold Palmer. My very first camera was a 110 camera, and I have all these old 110 negatives that I have not been able to scan. This is the first scanner I've had that has a tray for 110, so I look forward to checking out these negatives. Now in the menu, in the film type, I need to do 110 negative and hit enter. I'm going to go ahead and scan that. This looks like a Civil War era ironclad gunboat. There's the old family van out in a parking lot. One thing I was really good at is getting photos of my thumb. And there's a picture of me in the back of the van in my youth. I don't have any 5x7 photos, but I kind of want to know what the resolution is when this is totally uncropped. So I'm on photo, I'm going to hit menu, I'm going to go to crop and hit enter, and then I'm going to go to 5x7, which should include the entire bed here, and I'm going to hit enter. And now I'm scanning this entire bed. Here's a picture from a magazine. I'm just going to scan this to get an idea. I want to know basically the size of the image, the bit depth, that kind of thing when I have an uncropped image. All right, looking at these files that I've recorded here, they're all JPEG files. Regardless if they were 35 millimeter negatives, 35 millimeter slides, prints that I scan with various crop settings, all these image files seem to be about between 3 megabytes and 3.5 megabytes. So the image file is about the same regardless of how the image was cropped. For every single scan I did, I had it on the higher 22 megapixel setting. I didn't even want to mess with the lower 14 megapixel. I didn't see much point in it. I don't need to save space that badly. Looking at the 110 scan of the gunboat, I'm definitely seeing some artifacts that look like a digital zoom was applied to this to create a larger image file than was really necessary for the scan. And finally, with some images, the flatbed scanner seems to struggle with the white balance. Notice it's trying to turn this green and then pink when that should be sandy brown right there. Let's see if it goes back to natural looking. I put it there, it looks good, looks good, looks good, and then decides to turn it green and then decides to turn it pink. So in conclusion, the KeyDock photo scanner from DigitNow really shines with its standalone design. You can scan photos and negatives, crop them based on their size, and save everything straight to an SD card without ever touching a computer. It's a game changer for convenience. Personally, I'm thrilled that I can finally scan my old 110 negatives from my first camera. I have never had a scanner that can do that up until now. And I was initially worried about the slightly cloudy plexiglass on the bed. It did not seem to affect the quality of the print scans. The auto color balance performed well most of the time, though it did falter once or twice in getting those natural tones. One downside is that it only outputs to JPEG, which is lossy. Fingers crossed that a firmware update will add lossless options such as PNG or TIFF. Also, it appears to apply some digital zoom to smaller prints and negatives to standardize file size. That's handy if you want uniformity, but a potential drawback if you're editing in post-production or prefer untouched originals. Overall, if you're looking to breathe new life into your analog memories without the hassle, this scanner is a solid pick. Definitely worth checking out. If you're interested in the KeyDock film scanner from DigitNow, you can find a retail link in the description. And if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button. If you have any questions about the scanner, drop me a note in the comments. And remember, stay thrifty, everyone.